So you see we decorated for Halloween yesterday. Oh, I meant to bring up the coffin bed this morning and I forgot. Hopefully I'll remember to do it when I bring the endowments downstairs after mailbag. Um, I was too busy here playing with the kittens. So news this week. All right, so nothing happened this week, but there's still some news about the upcoming week, which is that first off on Monday, we have Crank going in for her pre-surgical consult. That's where the surgeon gets to take a look at her, make sure that they're okay to do the surgery, and kind of come up with a game plan. And then on Wednesday, that's when we bring her in to actually get her surgery in theory. Her surgery, last time we talked to the surgeon, the idea is that he's going to basically remove the last, like 3 centimeters. I'm trying, I don't know, probably, well, I'm just trying to picture it in my head, actually. It's probably a little bit, I don't know, more like that, something like there, of her colon. So they're going to remove that sort of end portion that she has so much trouble with when she tries to poop. And of course, the surgeon had said that there's probably like a 40% chance of her being incontinent, but at this point, she's pretty leaky all the time anyway because of all the trouble that she has and the fact that she's hurty a lot, so she doesn't want to clean herself as much as maybe she could. It's funny, if you haven't seen it, I mean, it is funny. It's sad, but it's also funny that, you know, she gets so upset when I try to clean her bottom or when anybody tries to touch her anywhere around that area at all, when her mom cleans her. And even when she cleans herself, if you've seen her sort of grooming herself and trying to clean her bottom, she'll growl at herself while she's cleaning her butt. So at least I know that it's nothing personal. Fingers crossed that you know, she comes out of the surgery at the very least with a little bit less bother. You know, even if she does kind of, if she's leaky, then whatever. That's what it is. What it is. But you know, he did say, at least he estimated, more likely than not, that she won't be. So fingers crossed that it comes out that way. But you know how probability works. It can, you know, even if there's only a tiny chance, there's still a chance. And in this case, the chance isn't so tiny. So we'll see. Hopefully. Now again, I do think there's a chance that we'll go in on Monday and the surgeon will take a look at her and be like, she's not big enough still. And I'll be like, well, I don't think she's getting any bigger. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm also, fingers crossed, I'm hoping that he can do her spay at the same time this time. But of course, that's not the priority still. So if it's, you know, one or the other, then we'll obviously prefer to do something that makes her feel better. So that's the big news, and then there's also the news that on Wednesday as well, on Wednesday, all these kids are going into their regular vet for their second vaccines and regular checkup, and so that's also in the morning. I'll drop her off for her surgery in the morning. These guys will go in the morning, so it's going to be one big trip where I take everybody out, hit one vet and then the other. Which means on Wednesday next week, there aren't going to be a whole lot of kittens here in the morning. But these guys will be back by, I don't know, 11 o'clock, you know, probably, maybe even earlier than that. And in the meantime, you'll have the faculty to keep an eye on. What else is news? Nothing. There's nothing else that's new. Oh, you know what? There is one other thing I wanted to bring up. I was talking to Dawes this morning about how, first off, I think that if Gadget has her adopter, and I do think they've got applicants already in line for Gadget, so I was telling them, I think for the first time, I don't think I've mentioned to them before, that I feel like if Gadget's ready to go, then, you know, they can go ahead and let her go. I don't know that it's doing her any favors to be with Crank, and I don't know it's doing Crank any favors really to be with her mom. Although you may have seen that we're letting them hang out together in Gadget's room pretty often. And I think it does make Gadget feels good to have company. I don't think that she cares that it's her kid or not, but I think she does feel a little bit better to have somebody there to bother and play with. So, oh, but I did also say, you know, since her surgical consult and potentially surgery is coming right up, we can wait and see if that changes anything. But I'm assuming it won't. So I also was telling them about the schedule for these guys, which is that they're Hazel and Bonnet, the two girls, are scheduled for their spay on November 14th. And then the boys are all scheduled for their neuters, I think the 21st. I got to check the schedule. I know that it's right after I come back from my vacation, which is November 16th through November 20th. I'm going to be going to see my mom in Kansas. So I won't be here for those 4 days, or most of them anyway. And DJ will be here. That's also her vacation. She's got like a week or a week and a half off of work, and so that's when I scheduled to go. She'll be keeping an eye on the kittens here as best she can. And so I told Dawes that ideally we would be looking for our next new mom cat to come after I get back from my vacation, which I know is cutting it pretty close. We could end up in a situation where these kids all get adopted out and we've got a pregnant mom and no kittens, and that's fine with me. I hope it's fine with all of you if that's the way it works out. But I will allow, if somebody shows up earlier, then we'll do it. I think it's nicer for DJ if she doesn't have to have that extra concern while I'm out of town. So that was what I was thinking anyway. We'll see how everything shakes out. So that's everything we know so far, which is Monday, Crank's surgical consult, Wednesday, Crank's surgery in theory. Wednesday, these guys are also going in for their checkup. Then there is a date with another checkup somewhere, I think, but I don't remember. And then November 14th, the girls go in for their spays. And I think the 21st, the boys go in for their neuters. I'll be out of town the 16th to the 20th of November. And that is everything, I think. So, let's mailbag. Yeah, everybody's saying to enjoy my time with my mom. I will. I'm sure I'll have a good time. Thank you so much for that. I haven't seen her in a while, and I know it's important to her too. So it's gonna be a good one. I'll have more to say about that later, probably as the date arrives. Yeah. Okay. We don't need to talk about that. Let's do mailbags. Oh, that's so thoughtful. I wrote a long thing to Dawes. I was talking to them about, plans this morning. I wrote them a long thing about finding the right adopter for Crank and, saying that I think that she should get adopted out sooner rather than later, even if it means letting her adopter take her before we feel like she's completely settled. I don't want to do the same thing that we did with Teaspoon, where we felt like we had to keep him until all of his surgeries and everything was done and we had him completely solved. Because if you do that, then you end up keeping him, and we can't keep more cats. Not if we want to keep doing Kitten Academy anyway. So I think there's a bigger benefit to the cat world at large if we don't keep Crank. But I was saying to Dawes, I think that finding her an adopter sooner rather than later probably benefits us and her adopter too. Even if it means that we have to help out with her surgeries or whatever else comes up, after the fact. Maybe she doesn't get spayed this week, but I would still say if somebody came by that was going to take care of her and adopt her next week, that we should do that, and then, say, all right, we'll cover the spay whenever it happens. So yeah, that's my take on that anyway. I haven't gotten confirmation from Dawes that they're on board with that, but I bet they will be.